And can you elaborate on them just a little bit for us? Thank you.
I absolutely consider these things because the only way you will know is you have to find what's called the fingerprints of the author. That means that most of the stuff we believe, we really believe in it because somebody told it to us. We ain't believing it because we know it. That's like 90% of what we believe. The stuff we know, only thing we know is what we've experienced in real time in our particular life, and everything else is secondhand information. That's why I don't do debates, because I'm going to be arguing no matter whose source I use. I'm going to be arguing secondhand information, right? So I can give resources, I can give sources of information, but I rely more on my experience than I do on my my learning, because I know that most of the stuff that's been fed to us has been fed to us to control us. That go back to whether it's the Sumerian tablets or the writings in the hieroglyphics in Kemet or the Bible, the Quran, all of this stuff is control measures, right? You got to remember, we looking at right now a current Earth population of roughly 8.4 billion people, right? And the number is fluctuating based on interference by governments to reduce populations by chemical controls, which comes from, it's about making them consumer, the poison winds and stuff of this nature. So a lot of what we believe today can be traced back to all of the ancient groups, but we only get pieces of it because the people that was writing, you gotta remember, in the year 1800, it was probably a couple thousand literate people on the planet. But here we is in 2024 with thousands of literate people, millions of literate people now, and we all relying on what the little handful of people wrote back then. Even if you go back to the hieroglyphs, only certain priests knew how to, was trained in the proper writing of the hieroglyphs on the walls. It's the same in Sumer. Only certain priests was the ones responsible to record the record. So how do you know what they recorded? They didn't record everything, just like our historians don't record everything. Nobody can record everything unless we have a continuous three-dimensional panoramic film running while we living. Otherwise, it's stuff that happened in your life you don't even remember until somebody say, you remember that time? And then you're like, oh yeah, I remember. But all of that affects belief systems and how we perceive the world. And all of those documents that the information is being traced back, because we're trying to find the source that we get the most information from. And once we trace it back to a central source, then we'll know who told it to us. Right. And sometimes we don't come back to a source. We come back to this book is attributed to this author, and we don't even know if the author lived. Just like your biblical Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. All of those at the beginning and the introduction, they tell you this book is attributed to. That means they don't know if they wrote it or not, but this is who they're going to get a credit to.
All right. Mandinka Mali, you are on the call.
All right. Peace and blessings, man, for old times.
Go ahead, brother.
Peace to the panel. Let me get straight to the question then. Good Lord.
Brother.
Yeah, go in.
I don't know what to do. You know, I don't know. Anyway, peace and blessings to the panel, man. Shout out to my cousin. Hey, Rod Hayes. That's one of my cousins from. Hey, he's from Jackson, Mississippi. So he know where his people come from. You know, this is why I understand why he don't get the Africa connection. That's for another time in another place. Our people come from Mali, Mandinka. So you trying to do some more other stuff I heard you talking about. But that's for another time and another day, sir. You know, me and Cuz are gonna have to have a one-on-one consultation about this. Which one of the Hayes is telling the truth? You hear me? That's gonna be the battle. Because hey, I'm fighting for my people's ancestry, and, you know, and their history on the plantation. He talking about they already here. No, I traced them back, coming over here on ships, slave dockets, what tribe, everything. So me last time you said, cousin, we both from the same, our people both from the same plantation in Jackson, Mississippi. So you're messing up the family history, but we're gonna talk about that later. Now, hey, cousin,
you gotta remember my history come on two sides of the family. Now, my mama from Macomb, Mississippi.
Okay, we're gonna talk about it. But anyway, hold up. I got my war chief peeking around. Peace out to 904 in the building, sign on the TV. Now, cousin, about 3-4 years ago, I came on here with this type of information. I was talking about the Pyramid Wars, Sumerian tablets, Emerald tablets. They laughed me off the goddamn stage. Jabari and Sarnetta laughed me off the stage. See, I was ahead of my time. They weren't ready for this type of deep information. I'm glad one of my family members bringing it out. You know what I'm saying? So can you go into really the Sumerian and Egyptian history is connected, ladies and gentlemen. This Giza Plateau was where the Pyramid Wars took place. See the pyramid. That's a space. That's a space. Okay, man. Goddamn. All right, because I'll bring it out, man.
One teacher tonight. Ask the question.
Okay, well, I'm just giving my cousins flowers, man. But as far as Aboriginal stuff, and I say our people came here. That's where the road stopped. Which one of the Hazes is telling the truth? Well, anyway,
it could be possible we both telling the truth.
It could be. Hey, family. So, do you believe that the Anunnaki came down and they would here fight? They would here mining gold, right, for Anu, and then they got tired of doing the work, so gene splice these Homo erectus, and here you have your Homo sapiens. That is the history. But go ahead.
That's the Sumerian story of the creation of Lulu Amalu, the primitive workers of the earth. Right. But I still believe we was already here. I still believe we was already here, because even if you use that as like a ground zero of their breeding program, Lulu Amalu. Lulu Amalu.
Okay.
And they just call them the Lulus for short.
Yeah.
But
let me Sana, can I share my screen to help?
No, because we're just asking questions. I said that to everybody, Mandinka. There's only one teacher here tonight, brother. I want to just ask questions.
Oh, okay. This is gonna help with his field. Okay.
You can do your own show. Cool. All right. So let me go on.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Let me move on.
Well, Lisa, Lisa's
let me ask Rod Hayes a question. Are the Kemetic stories?
So he didn't answer my question. Sorry,
go ahead.
He didn't answer the question.
All right.
You state the question again, brother.
So during my studies of some of this information, me and Raphael and a couple of other brothers that deal with this type of information, like I say, during the Anunnaki, they were sent down by Anu. Anu's the top guy. He's the top creator. Then he sent them down to mine for gold, because they want to take gold back to their atmosphere, because their atmosphere is messed up, and the gold helps replenish their atmosphere. This is why they came here, right? So Anu sent all the other guys down, because Anu, the top guy, sent all these guys down here to mine for gold. They got tired of doing that, so they spliced their DNA into Homo erectus, and that's how you get the Homo sapiens. This is what they used to teach. They also
actually it's Homo sapiens, which is a different genetic stock than Homo sapien. But yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So in the evolutionary story, they got what they call the missing links. The missing links are unexplained jumps in the evolutionary process based on the fossil record. First of all, we know they fabricated a lot of fossils and they got caught. We know that.
Then Lucy, yeah.
Right. So we don't take everything they say about fossil finds to be the 100%, but the missing link is more than just the fossil finds.
Mm-hmm.
right? It is the generic explanation of why did the Neanderthal become Homo erectus? What happened? What made him stand upright? Right? And what made Homo erectus become Homo sapien? Right? These is that they call the missing links. What made the Homo sapien become Cro-Magnon, then Homo sapien sapien? So the explanation that's commonly given is that this betrays the infiltration into the gene pool by foreign genetic manipulation of an outside source. Right? So there is a lot of discussion about those missing links still, because they can't put it together until this Anunnaki doctrine came out. When the Anunnaki literature hit, then what got Zechariah and Eric Von Daniken's attention was, this is the clear explanation of the missing links. The sudden jumps in the process of evolution. Right? Because they know that the genome only transforms under slow, gradual change or a sudden change that's normally triggered by a radioactive exposure of UV rays.
Hey, hold on, cuz don't you gotta give them baby food over here. Some of these guys, hey, when I brought it out 5 years ago, they wasn't ready for it. They laughed me off the goddamn on stage. You see what I'm saying? But that's okay, son. My cousin here to straighten it out. The only disagreement I got with is we're gonna have a battle of the hazes. Who telling the real plantation story?
All right. Let me ask you the question, brother Rod.
Go ahead.
The
women.
Damn, what I was gonna ask again.
Ask about the women.
Are the comedic stories real, or would you say this is all just a myth? And can we live in these stories? Can we live out? Can they do good for us in this day and time? The stories of the ancient Kemetic people.
It depends on it's depend on anything you use. It depends on how you use it, what you can get from it. Right. If you want to get something from the teachings of Kemet, a good place to start is Muwatta Ashby. He out in Florida, and he's the Egyptian yoga teacher, but he's also an Egyptian historian.
I know who he is.
Right. So that's a good start. Like, for instance, how do you apply what they was teaching in ancient times to your modern day life? That's not an easy task. And sometimes we need help because we don't really understand a lot of the stories that they telling, because they paint these pictures with totem animals, but we thinking that they talking about people instead of energy. They talking about the energy of the totem, right? Some of them are composites, like Tawaret got the alligator spine, the hippopotamus body, the woman's mammary gland, human hands, and the hippopotamus head, but she's carrying the cleaver. Right? That's a whole bunch of information packed in one picture. Right? So the stories is as real as your mind make them, because your mind is what determines what's real and what's not. It's like Dr. Delbert Blair once said, nothing is truth until you decide what truth is. You have to decide for yourself what your truth is. And then you have to live your life according to that truth. And sometimes it might require you to study something that you wouldn't normally study. Like, I didn't know why am I studying forensic profiling? I didn't know why I was studying that, but it makes perfect sense in retrospect, because now when a person is doing stuff, I'm watching the character and it's fitting out a character, somebody else is involved. Right? That's from studying forensic profiling. It becomes so obvious that it's like a green thumb on a red hand. You can see it, it sticks out. But if you don't study that type of information, you won't never use that type of information in your critical analysis of what you're dealing with.
Okay. What role did Thor play in the Anunnaki conflicts? And
you say Thor?
Yes. What role did Thor play in the Anunnaki conflicts, and how does he relate to characters in other mythological stories?
So, first of all, Thor is a Greek story. It's a European story. It's not a Sumerian story, right?
But they
But
the Nephilims. They
right.
Nephilims.
So
Hercules, Gilgamesh, Samson, Goliath. Hercules is a Greek mythology, and it's sometimes
It's a
associated with the Nephilim.
Viking story.
What I'm saying, Elder, though, those
Okay.
are the Nephilim. The
Okay,
ones
so
they
let me
mixed in with. Well, that's part of the answer, son. They were Nephilims.
Right. All right. So
Thor,
let me.
you're right. You're right with Thor.
Right. So let me ask you this one then, Rod. Let me switch it up. How did the Anunnaki wars impact human development and civilization?
because they got what's called the Scrolls of Destiny, which they call the 10 Scrolls of Buddhist Wisdom, which is how to run a massive operation like Earth as a company. How to hold on, how to hold on to leadership, manage resources, and allocate resources in order for you to affect people's lives. The concept of sociology, we think it's only a couple hundred years old, but it's ancient. Sociology deals with the study of groups. And in sociology, by studying the group, you know how to put what's called triggers in there or antagonists to steer the group in the direction you want them to go. Right? And all of the information is geared toward the control of Earth and the people of Earth. Because very few of us know, very few of us is aware of the varying different God stories from around the earth is all the same story rewritten to fit the local culture. And when they rewrite it to fit the local culture, it changes the expression of what's being done by the so-called gods.
All right. All right. I'm gonna get to you guests in a minute. What is the significance of gold to the Anunnaki, and how does it relate to human consciousness?
So one of the names of them is the Shining Ones, and another name they call them the Golden Ones. And the gold in its monoatomic form, or as they call it in Kemet, couscous, is been used by Anunnaki and Earth priests for thousands of years. But they also found, according to the tablets, that this gold can be used to rebuild the atmosphere of Nibiru because it was being depleted. In other words, they had a hole in the ozone layer. So to patch the hole in the ozone layer, they needed massive amounts of gold that could be reduced to the monoatomic form and put into the atmosphere.
Okay. Let me get on over to Nazarene.
For that type of I brought that out 5 years ago, cuz.
Let me get to Nazarene Essence. What's up, brother?
That scenes. Peace, Sock.
Peace. That scenes. Go ahead.
Peace, brother.
Peace. Hey, Rod, Chief Pontiac. I want to salute you, man, and give you your flowers and just let you know I be checking you out, man. And I
appreciate it, brother.
I appreciate you. Now, my question is this: were the Anunnaki?
What up, Nazarene?
Shalom, Maki.
Keep speaking out of turn, bro.
Was the Anunnaki black gods or aliens?
Good question. Good question. I like that.
Well, depending on what you mean by black god and alien, because a rock that comes from outer space is an alien or extraterrestrial. So if you mean what you mean by black guys, we have this this understanding that everybody is heavily melanated throughout the cosmos, which is not true. But the heavily melanated ones throughout the cosmos appears to be the ones who's been involved in skywalking or interstellar travel for the longest period of time. and that their contact with other civilizations has advanced those civilizations to become skywalkers, whether they melanated or less melanated in a skin tone, right? So it's doing, and then the ones that didn't want to obey the ones that were so-called righteous decided to do what they wanted to do instead of doing what they was told to do.
So would you say when we talk about the Council of 12, which is similar to a lot of that particular story from Sumer, the Sumerian story, would you say that Council of 12 is similar to what we say in the Bible, like the Elohim? Like, are the Council of 12, which they say they're the Anunnaki, right? I'm trying to really, in my research and what I study, Mr. Hayes, is that there's so many, like, it's conflated with, there's the Ajiji story conflated with the Anunnaki story, and then it goes into the Bible, like the creation story of the Bible called the Elohim. We would think, okay, that matches the Anunnaki, but then there are also parts of that creation story in the Bible that seems like it's the Ajiji, which is called the fallen, you know, like the story you said about the Enoch. So how do you decipher that? Like, you particularly, when you're talking to somebody who says, well, show me this in the Bible, how do you separate Anunnaki, Ajiji, Elohim? Like, how do you do that?
Well, really, the Bible is like potpourri. It's an admixture of Middle Eastern and Egyptian texts put together in Europe to control people. You got to go back to what Constantine said when he created the church, what he was doing, right? Not what they tell you the church for, what the person that commissioned the church to be created, right, said about why he was creating the church. There's two different paradigms, right? You can't always clearly identify the difference between a Nephilim, fallen one, and a Elohim or Beno Elohim, children of Elohim. You can't always distinguish them in the Bible because even the word God in the Bible is a whole bunch of different words, right? It's not one word throughout the whole Bible that translated as God. They translate different words in different places to be God or Lord according to the narrative they pushing. So you can't always use the Bible as a cohesive reference. One of the things about the Bible is they tell us to worry about the devil. Tell me who the devil killed in the Bible, and I'll wait. And then I can tell you a whole bunch of people that God killed, and I can tell you where he lied at too, because he told Abraham if he found one righteous in Sodom and Gomorrah, he wouldn't destroy it. What did he do? They found Lot there, told him to leave, and blew it all up. Right? That's a bald-faced lie.
Five.
Okay.
Righteous. It wasn't five.
But he got down to one.
No, he came down to 5. Started at 50, came down to 5, not 1.
Okay. Who all left? How many people left with Lot when he left Sodom and Gomorrah?
5, but the wife was not righteous. She looked back, so it was only 4.
Now you're trying to justify the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah.
I'm trying to tell you the truth.
He found 5 people.
No, but 1 looked back, so it was only 4.
So the only thing he did wrong was look back.
Actually, it was 3. Of the 4, 1 looked back. It was Lot, his wife, and his 2 daughters. That was it. It came from 50 to 5.
So, okay, I'm gonna let you have that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you have that, but you still can't justify the lie he told Adam when he say, "The day you eat from that fruit, you're gonna die that day." Because the church gonna tell you, "Oh, the essence, all of the essence in Adam died." No, that's a bald-faced lie. Adam was still living, and they had kids, so that means that he got lied to.
Adam died that day. To be separated from God, there's 2 deaths in the Bible. There's the physical death
I know the dogma. I know the dogma.
Revelations chapter 20 brings it out about the second death, of which there's no power over, no Holy Ghost power to deliver from the second death.
Okay. Yeah. He still lied to him because he didn't die that day.
He died that day. He became separate from the soul.
He wouldn't have had no children if he'd have died that day, because all his children was after that day.
Not physically, he died spiritually that
day. It don't say that. The book don't say if you eat from the tree that day you will spiritually die. It don't say that. It say you're gonna die the day you eat from that tree.
Thank you, brother. I see Rod be watching that, man. Thank you, Rod.
But the book implies it.
No, it don't. No, it don't. What implies it is you. Y'all always changing the damn narrative, man.
Like I say, let the Bible interpret
Rod is right, brother. Rod is right.
What about this? I just want to interject this. So if we take the Bible, Elder and everybody, and if we say, oh, they died spiritually, dying spiritually would be being spiritually separated from God. So right. the Bible says, you agree with that, right?
Right.
Well, the Bible says in chapter 4, she's got a child from God. So they're right there. They're still connected.
Listen, man. Just listen.
They're still connected to God spiritually because she blesses the name of the Most High. She says, I have received a child from the Lord.
See?
So if she died spiritually, she wouldn't get anything from the Lord. She's getting blessings from the Lord. They're giving sacrifices in chapter 4. They're doing offerings. That means they're connected to the Most High.
Now, can you admit that you are wrong, Apostle? Watch, he can't do it.
I'm not wrong.
No, it's not that I'm not trying to make him say he's wrong.
I'm not wrong.
No,
even now, there's a sense of separation. The only connection I have to God is through Christ. And without the connection, I have no connection to God.
Okay. And
I was that connection through Christ, I have no connection to God.
So
right.
what
I was going to finish. Just let me finish.
Christ wasn't born when Adam and Eve was there, so they couldn't use that Christ connection BS.
Even
if they say that, oh my God, you got to talk to me. I wanted to say something.
Of the world, Christ was slain in Genesis 1.
Okay,
you can see evidence of Christ being slain in Genesis 1:1 in the word Bereshit.
All right. Well, if you say that we were only connected through God through Christ was a sacrifice in the Bible. In Genesis, they do. I'm going to go back to the Bible. We said we're using the Bible. We're eisegeting right now, all of us. We look at the actual text. There is no separation from God. So they didn't die spiritually. In the actual text in chapter 4, it says, I've gotten a child from the God. And it says, if you do good, like he's talking to Cain, she's talking to Cain, to be honest. They're talking to Cain saying, if you do good, then like Abel, who does blood sacrifice to God, then you'll be fine. So there's no disconnection from God. They didn't die spiritually. And that's what the text says. The text says that. Can you address that?
Yes, I can address that. Because of the sacrifice, which is a type and shadow of Christ, who is our true connection. Those sacrifices points to Christ. That is the connection. That's why they're doing the sacrifice, to restore the connection that was lost.
What was the sacrifice?
They got them kicked out of the garden. That's why there was no sacrifice in the garden, except for what God did to clothe.
There was a sacrifice in the garden. That's why they had animals' clothing on. They killed an animal. They had on the clothing of animals.
They did not. They had on leaf.
No, when they left, it says they had.
The Most High did that. The Most High covered.
No, but Apostle, let me just get a word in.
I'm
Please.
just saying the Most High did that.
No. You said there was no sacrifice. They did kill an animal.
They did not kill an animal. Adam and Eve did not kill an animal in the garden.
Then how did they get the animal's skins on their body?
The Most High gave it to them. He clothed them because he
I'll let Rod handle this.
Well, wait, Apostle, wait. The book say clearly, who told you was naked? Because they had put something on. They covered themselves. Who told you was naked? So God didn't even know that they had been told they was naked. Come on now.
They covered themselves with leaves, and it did not cover them.
The next question, sir.
Yeah.
She got a question for you.
You muted, sir.
Stop muting me, sir.
All right, yeah, I'm muting you because you can't be quiet when somebody asking a question. So I'm asking you a question now.
Trying to answer.
All right, don't answer. We moving on. Does God have partners, or do God work alone, Apostle? The God of the Bible, of the Hebrew, of the Israelites. Apostle? Does God work with partners, or does God work alone? The God of the Israelites. Oh, now he ran. Apostle ran.
I was waiting on that line because he clearly said, hey, let us go down and see what these people doing.
But not only that, Apostle clearly said, in order to get to God, I got to go through Jesus. So it's Jesus and God working together. You see where I'm going? He always saying, I got to go through Jesus. I got to talk to Jesus. I got to get to Jesus. So does God have partners, or he works alone?
But they never read in the New Testament when Jesus said, why callest thou me good? There's only one good, and that is the Father.
Thank you.
Who art in heaven.
Thank you.
Right? But that's one and the same.
See, he running. I hope when me and you get this debate and you don't run from me, brother. You ain't gonna be able to do that. You ain't gonna be able to run from me, man. I'm gonna show you, Apostle, that with my teacher, I got a good teacher, and she taught me very well about this Bible. I speak of none other than Paul, of course. And you're gonna see, brother, that I'm better than you now with these scriptures. Y'all, hey, brother Rod, they used to beat me up, brother. The Hebrew Israelites, now they run from me, brother Rod. They run from me.
Look, I'm not trying to run nobody away. I'm not trying to change the way nobody. But I'm saying this for a reason. I'm not trying to turn nobody away. I'm not trying to run nobody away. I ain't trying to track nobody in. I'm just telling what little bit of information I know, and I don't know it all.
Right.
I do know how to say when somebody asks the right question, man. I don't know.
Let me show you this right quick, and then I'm gonna go on with the next question. I'm gonna let somebody ask you the next question. When I asked them about this right here, Deuteronomy 21:10, about the grape doctrine, about the rape doctrine, he said, no, it's not grape. All right. Well, we can clearly see it is. When you go, I said, oh, so when you're going on to war, it's all right. You can go ahead into her. It's still rape. It's still grape. It's still that. It doesn't matter if you're in war or if you're not in war.